Okay, today I'm going to be doing a little work on my 1979 Aria Pro II TS500 that I bought secondhand in 1982. It was in mint condition then and it's almost in mint condition now. The problem is the electronics. It has some special electronics in it that I don't use and they don't work now. The volume and tone pots are messed up. It's got a 5-way tone switch selector that doesn't work completely, and it has 3 phase shifters for the pickups that don't work at all. So I'm going to be doing a complete redesign. So let's get a closer look at this guitar. This guitar is currently configured with a single volume, a pickup selector, and a single tone. Now this guitar came with a bunch of, I guess it was neat in the day, but you know, today it's a bit hokey. A bunch of extra circuitry. For instance, here is the on-off switch for a power booster, and this is the volume for the power booster. It also came with 3 switches that do some phase shifting on the pickups. Never really used it, and they're not working properly now. It also came with this 5-way tone selector, which I really don't need that either. I just want 2 volumes and 2 tones. 1 volume, 1 tone for the bridge pickup and 1 volume, 1 tone for the neck pickup. So I'm going to be installing more of a Les Paul type design. It's not going to have the square configuration because I already have these holes drilled here, and I'm just going to reuse these holes. So I'm going to go volume and tone for the bridge, volume and tone for the neck. I'm also having problems with the output jack here, so I'm going to be replacing that, as well as the pickups. Now these are the original 1979 pickups. I'm going to be putting a new bridge pickup, the Seymour Duncan JB model, and I'm going to be putting a Seymour Duncan Jazz model in the neck. Now these are the new 500K pots that I'm going to be using for volume and tone, and I'm going to be installing those again across here, and then I'm going to be installing this this pickup selector right here. And I think that rather than trying to do a wood putty repair on all of this, these 4 holes I'll have remaining and I won't be using them, I think I'm just for now going to leave those switches in there. They've been here all this time. They haven't really bothered me yet, so I'm going to leave them there for now. I may come back later on and do some woodwork to fill those holes. Also have a couple of new capacitors for the tone pot. Because there may be a bit of a problem with the spacing here, in other words, there's just not as much space as I would like, I'm going to go with a more smaller form factor for my knobs and use these black brass knobs. I think that's going to be a nice clean look, plus I have those on my Ibanez guitar and I just like them. Now let's turn this guitar over and have a look at the back. As you can see here, it's a little different from my Kramer and my Ibanez guitar in that it's not a bolt-on neck. This is a neck-through design. It's as solid as a rock, and one of the reasons I love this guitar so much and I want to get it back into shape. So let me remove this cover here and we'll have a look at the electronics. As you can see here, this has a fairly nice sized cavity, which is nice. I've worked on them before where it was really tight. This big wad of electronics right here is the phase shifting and all that goofy stuff. It's broken right now, and the thought of being able to find it, I just don't know that I could find it, and I don't want it anyway. So I'm just ready for a nice new clean design for the electronics in this guitar. Simpler, but sounding better. This, of course, is the 9-volt plug for the 9-volt battery that controls the power booster. Don't need a power booster. I can handle any type of effects or phase shifting or power boosting on the floor. That's where it belongs. So let's gut the cavity of this 1979 Aria Pro II TS500. Put some new electronics in it and give it a whirl. Alright, I now have the cavity gutted. As you can see, I have put in the first pot just for to test the fitting before I turn the camera on, and it fits well. That, of course, is going to be the tone pot for the bridge pickup. So I have saved all of my old wiring harness just in case I need something somewhere down the road. Have my solder station. So I'm going to color code this to something that'll be recognizable. So let's get started. Well, I've mounted all 4 pots and the selector switch down here at the very bottom. And I have grounded the 4 pots together with the bridge ground, and I have mounted the 2-tone capacitors. I need to clip this capacitor lead off here. So let's do some more soldering. Okay, all 4 new pots are in. Capacitors are on the tone. I had to use my original selector switch because the new one was too tall for this cavity. Got the new output jack here. So let me button this thing up. I did stick it on a single string just a moment ago. Installed the new pickups also, but I stuck a single string on there, and it's just incredible how clean it is. Let me put these front knobs on real quick. And there we have the 4 knobs. I think it's got a fairly clean look, and I know it's going to sound better. Let me go restring this thing and test it out. Well, here's the finished product. It sounds better than it's ever sounded, and I'm just glad to have my old guitar back. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.